My name is Sonny Terranova, joined by...
And I'm Anglestein.
And tonight we're going to be debating two topics. First up, we're going to be talking Sixers and the projected matchup that is looking like it is going to be happening. Obviously, we know with the Celtics and Hawks, that series is still going on, but projected it is looking like Celtics and Sixers in round two. Zach, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, as of right now, it should be the Celtics, depending on tonight's game against the Hawks. But if it is the Celtics, then it'll be a tough game for Philadelphia. As we know, the Sixers have struggled in the past against the Celtics. This could be the year for change, but I still think Boston's going to come out on top in 6 or 7. It'll be a good game, a good series, but I have a gut feeling Boston's going to edge it out against Philly.
See, now I personally think that the Sixers have a much better shot than because of what we've seen with the Celtics. They're looking like they've been folding a little bit in these playoffs, and if Jason Tatum, the Celtics are more of a run and gun team. If they're not hitting shots, like Jason Tatum, we saw he wasn't hitting shots in Game 5, it's going to be a problem for them. So I believe they have a good shot in this series. I think they're going to come out on top, in my opinion.
Yeah, they got a shot. I mean, compared to the previous years, they do have a shot against Boston. They played very well this year, but I just don't think they can do it. Like I'm not even worried about Jason Tatum. I'm more worried about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has always killed us every time we play against each other. I will not be worried about Tatum. If Tatum does this, I'm fine. My main focus is Jaylen Brown, and then the rest of the bench and starting 5. But the Sixers could do it, but it'll be close.
Well, what we've seen is Atlanta. Trae Young obviously hit the big game winner, and they've been shooting the lights out pretty well from beyond the arc. And Sixers, as you know, are the best three-point shooting team this season, and they've been able to be consistent with their three-point shooting. And I think that's going to play a huge factor, and that's why I think they have a good chance of coming out on top in that series. I mean, they don't have an answer for Embiid, so what do they do there with that?
It all depends on Embiid's health. We're still not sure what his health is, if he's 100%, if he's 50%. We are still not sure on the status. If he has to wear a knee brace or something, we don't know. So he won't be the same Embiid as we saw in the regular season. Now, he was dominant against Boston this year, I won't deny that, but if he's 50%, that'll be a lot tougher, and you have to rely on Harden, Maxey, and Harris. If those 3 can help Embiid, they do got a shot. But it all depends, because Harden in the playoffs, he's been struggling. The first round, couple games, he's been struggling a little bit, but everyone on that Sixers team needs to step it up if they want a shot against Boston.
For sure. But like I said, it goes back to Tatum has to be consistent. I think Jaylen Brown's good, but I think they need Jason Tatum to step up, and we've seen, him, he's had this tendency of taking his foot off the gas pedal, and obviously, like I said, Game 5, he went 1 for 11 from 3 and 8 for 22. So if they get that type of Jason Tatum, I don't see them coming out on top. As well as Jaylen Brown has played, I don't think they'll come out on top in that series.
You also have to see, since the Sixers have over a week of rest, which that is helpful, it gives the players rest, more time to focus on the Celtics and their game plan. It all depends on Doc Rivers' game plan. If he can figure out something, how to stop Boston. If he can do that, then they should be going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And they should likely go to the finals after last night's game with the #1 seed Bucks losing. If they can do that, they easily have a shot going to the NBA Finals, but it'll be close.
For sure. So you believe that Boston does come out on top in this series?
I think it'll be Boston in 6 or 7, sadly.
Well, I believe it's going to be Philadelphia that comes out on top. And we're going to go to our next topic, talking about the NFC. Let's talk about it. Obviously, there's a lot of talk that Philadelphia may be still the best team in that conference. And, maybe the next closest team might be San Francisco. But what team do you feel that will come out of the NFC?
Well, I know that you're a diehard Eagles fan, and you won't like this answer, but I feel like the 49ers will come out on top, or maybe the Dallas Cowboys. I know you don't like the Cowboys, but I have a gut feeling that next year could be different for the Cowboys.
So we're talking about Dallas.
We're talking Dallas.
Dallas Cowboys,
yes,
with Dak Prescott, getting paid $40 million. He's, one of the guys that you saw Dak Prescott play this year, right?
Yeah.
At one point, he had more picks than in games played. Right. And you think he's going to lead them to the big game?
It'll be a whole different year next year.
Different year,
it'll be different.
It's still the same Dak, though. He's not just going to flip the switch like that and just turn it on.
You never know.
And then you mentioned San Francisco. So San Francisco with their quarterback situation, you think that San Francisco is still going to come out the NFC?
We're not sure what their quarterback will be. We don't know Brock Purdy's health, if it'll be Trey Lance. We're not sure. But their 49ers defense, they did upgrade in the offseason as they I mean, they do. They could beat the Eagles. And if the Eagles do go to win the NFC, which it's very possible, I'm not denying that, they're not going to beat the Chiefs or the Bengals, maybe the Bills. We're not sure.
They came 3 points from beating Kansas City. And you could argue that that one, call at the end of the game really costed them
Debatable, yeah.
the big game for sure. So, and I understand they lost, they obviously lost some playmakers on the defensive side for sure. They still got Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts took a huge step, was the #1 quarterback from the pocket, showed a lot of great things last season. Obviously before the injury, in my opinion, was the MVP favorite. And I think that's going to continue. Obviously we have the draft tonight, we'll see what they do. But with that offense and what they have out there with AJ and Devontae, I believe that they're still the best team. You disagree? You don't think that they are the best team?
They're one of the best teams in the NFC. I won't deny that, but I just don't think they're going to do what they did last year. They did lose some key players like C.J. Gardner, Miles Sanders. Those were some key players. But you never know. We'll see what happens in the draft tonight. As we know, that will be upcoming soon. The Eagles have picked 10 and 30. But we'll see what happens. I still think it'll be 49ers or Dallas.
But so with San Francisco's quarterback situation in question, how can you pick San Francisco?
Defense. Defense wins games.
But they had a defense last year.
They upgraded their defense this year.
And
the Eagles lost some key players on the defense.
And they got 30 points dropped on them in the NFC Championship.
That's because their quarterback was from the XFL. He's not a real quarterback.
We got a lot of differences, man, but we got to settle, man. And that is all the time we have for today. Go Birds and enjoy the draft.